So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about human factors, study of human factors. So human factor engineering is also called as ergonomics. The word ergonomics is taken from Greeks. That is, ergo is a Greek word for work. Nomos is a Greek word for knowledge. Therefore, the word ergonomics means work knowledge. Ergonomics has been defined as a study of anatomical, psychological, and physiological aspects of human being in a working environment. Its object is to optimize human safety, health, comfort, and efficiency. This sounds complicated, but it is really not. So basically, ergonomics means it is a study of how uh, correctly a human being can work in an environment, how to perform a job without compromising the health, efficiency, comfort, or safety aspects. So, in other words, we can say economics or human factor engineering can maximize the workers to increase the productivity, job satisfaction, and job attitude. When this happens, injuries can be eliminated or minimized, and hazards will be practically eliminated in the construction site. So people are important, right? So the most important component in any work application is the people. So people, it means that labor who involved in the construction task. Okay, so the most of the tasks require only basic adjustments in order to improve the working conditions. However, there are some specialized work groups that require greater attention done to ensure the maximum productivity at the same time, good assurance of safe conditions. So, basically, what they're saying is the task, whatever the task we are going to perform in a construction site, is involving the people. So people has to be ensured of their safety, as well as we need to ensure that they performing with maximum productivity. Okay, so the a good example is a specialized group of workers who can handle the chemicals. So the worksite modification for specialized groups are often achieved at minimal cost, and it will benefit to other group of workers as well. In fact, the entire company may benefit from the special effort. It means that you can try to bring specialized workers in order to handle specialized chemicals. Okay. So not every labor could able to handle a chemical. Only certain laborers or certain people can handle the ability to handle the chemicals. Like example, whenever you have concentrated acids or any chemicals related to your project, then you should have some experts or laborers who are having some experience in handling those chemicals or handling those chemicals. The purpose of human factors, that is the major goal, is to design safety in a workplace, in the mission, as well as in the environment. It does not try to make people perform in ways other than what comes naturally. The major concerns here is the engineering and producing equipment for population that will use it. Whatever equipment you're going to design for your the project. So that is the one major concern they are talking about, and the designing system so that mission, task, and environment are compatible with the capabilities and limitations of the people. Third one is the designing a system to fit the characteristics of people rather than retrofitting people into the system. So the main thing what they're trying to say is you have to design a system or the safety provisions which will fit the characteristics of people. So it should be compatible with people's ability to work in an environment. Okay. So the human limitations is uh, we can say when compared to men and women, one is having like less 20% less than men, less strength than men, and people working upright are prone to job stress. Okay, so continuously they are working for 10 hours in other sunlight, so they might experience this kind of job stress. Working with outreach arms can result in back pain. So these are all the human indifferences we can able to see whenever the person is working in an environment. There are but few of many human limitations. When they are not recognized, can cause loss of productivity, accident, material loss, and even suffering. A good point to remember here is it's easier to change the workplace rather than train or change people. Okay. study the worker. So, like I said earlier, ergonomics is mainly concerned with the study of people in their work environment and the tools used or the machinery they require to produce a product. So, all those things you have to be, well study of everything, not only the people involved, but also the tools or the machinery that has been used in the construction site. Therefore, it is necessary to examine the physiology of work and fatigue, the physical structure of person, tool design, work layout, and the task and environmental hazards of operation. Thus, we have a man-machine environment system. So, generally in a construction site, human is not going to work alone. He is going to handle some mission in a under some sunlight or in an environment. So that is why man-machine environment system. Okay, so the fitting the worker to a job and the workers is the most effective manner requires analysis of human physical and psychological need and adjustment of redesigning of tasks or tools to account for individual differences. Okay, you have to make sure that a person is fit for the job and it is having proper workplace. Okay, so that you have to ensure that it has it maximizes the productivity of the particular labor. Okay, so this is one example you can see here. That is, a person is lifting a brick. Okay, you can see here, person is lifting a brick, but we can say, is this the right one or is this a right or wrong? So from this image, we can say this is the right posture or movement to lift the brick. Okay, and this is not the way you can lift the brick. So this is the right one. This is how you can take a brick. Okay, why? Because if you do this kind of work, that is the second one. Okay, so if you do this kind of work, then people might experience a back pain. Okay, so this is one example of how ergonomics affects the people or the labors involved in the work. So it becomes simply by observing the task worker and the work environment, then analyzing each movement or position particular to the task. So proper lighting, experience, noise, temperature, ventilation must be assessed because all these factors contribute to work fatigue, work of fatigue. So when you repeatedly doing this kind of work, then you will experience some sort of back pain that will eventually lead to injury. Okay, that is why they are saying there are some works that needs to be done in a proper manner. So worker comfort means that the decision whether to have workers stand or sit at a workstation is influenced by several factors, right? So standing gives the greater mobility, greater use of workstation. So usually people when they stand, they have greater mobility, greater use of the workstation. They can use whatever they want when they stand and work. So when they sit, what happens is they have less freedom of movement. There is some sort of constraint here, and when they sit, they have less loading of postural muscle. Therefore, it has appeared that sitting is less stressful to the worker than standing. So sitting is less stressful. Okay. However, poor design of work may actually increase the static loading of some muscle. For example, when a workbench is too wide, the elbows will be held away from the body, thereby causing undue fatigue. Humans, not unlike machines, have certain capabilities and limitations, and these should be recognized for greater work efficiency. So consider some of the problems that you incur every day. It can be poor attitude, behavior, nervousness, anger, alcoholism. So these are all the things that humans tend to do, which will affects their productivity. Okay, affects productivity and leads to injury. Okay, for example, large person cannot work in a cramped space. Some people can lift greater weights while others cannot. So these are all the humans limitations that you can encounter in a construction site. Human beings are not often required to perform innumerable tasks as part of the daily workstations situation, not unlike any mission when it comes to overload. The human mission can break down and can suffer temporary or even permanent damage. So you cannot say people can lift, 50 kg. Everyone can lift 50 kg. No, some can do, some cannot. Okay, so it depends on their capacity, and every day humans face different tasks. So sometimes they might break down, and it can lead to temporary or permanent damage. Even that task demands more of the workers than they sustain, the rest break should be provided. So you often need to provide rest breaks in between the work. Okay, it has been found that taking a short pass of every 30 minutes has increased productivity when compared with no breaks. So as an engineer, you can make sure that labor is taking a short break every 30 minutes so as to increase the productivity, okay, of the work. So human factors always be considered in job assignments. When this is done, then results will be increased efficiency, a decrease in human error, and significant reduction in injuries and accidents. So this is why human factors are very important to be considered in a construction projects. Humans, on the other hand, do not. They need to be challenged, but not overburdened to the point where they become susceptible to injuries and accidents. So that's it from human factors. Thank you.